Hi, I'm Neil from the Bike Project. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on how to work on these electric bikes. How to switch them on, how to check for maintenance, and how to key them up and lock them again. To start off with, you have 3 keys on your key ring. There's a square one, there's an odd shaped one, and there's a flat plastic one. The plastic one is for switching on the computer, which you'll see in a few minutes. The odd shaped one is for the lock, and the square one is to take the battery off. To start off with, I'll show you how to switch it on. First of all, there's a battery on the back here, and if you rub your finger across the back, you'll feel there's a rubber button. You just push that button in, and the battery comes on. The number of lights tells you how much power is in the battery. If you're going far away, you usually have four full bars on it. Once you've switched it on, and if you look here, it'll ask you to swipe your computer key, which is this one. So to get the bike to work, you just scan that across, and that puts you onto your settings. Now for your different settings, you have low, normal and high. That's the amount of assistance that you get when you're pedaling. You still have to pedal. I would suggest that you use it on the low one to start off with, and then this bar down here tells you how much power is in your battery. There's also a trigger here, so if you're in the low setting and you come to a small hill, you can just push this trigger down and that gives you full power. You don't have to adjust the settings at all. As soon as you slip it again, it goes back to the setting you were at before, as in low. This tells you your speed. The bike will take you up to 15 miles an hour, and then the battery will cut out. The motor will cut out by legal. It's got to do that legally. So once it's over 15 miles an hour, you're pedaling as normal. If you want to use the bike with no assistance at all, you can go back down past the low and it goes to off. It just works as a normal bike, obviously you're carrying the extra weight or a battery and a motor. So once you've got that set, so that shows you how to switch it on. Basic checks you should do before, or another thing you can do if you want to adjust your handlebars, is there's an arrow on here. If you push that arrow down, then this lever just pulls up. And if you look to the side, you'll see you can adjust this and you can adjust that. So you can adjust the bike to suit wherever you want the handlebars to be, whatever height or angle you want them at. Once you've got it set in the position that you're happy with, then you just lock that back down. That clicks back in. To adjust your seat, your saddle for the right height, there's a quick release on them. The quick release works just by pulling this lever across. Now you have to make sure that the piece that it nips has got the bottom of the break in the frame here. If this was around this way, like that, it's nipping a solid frame, so it's no use. So you have to make sure that that's at the front. Then basically just move the saddle to whatever height you want it, and then move to whatever height you want them, and then just lock that back in position. So that's your saddle set. You've got your handlebars set. Quick check you should do before you go is to make sure that your brakes are both working, which you can do just by pulling the brake. The right hand side is your front brake, and the left hand side is your rear brake. So just make sure that both brakes is working. Once you've actually been on the bike and you come back when you want to switch it off, you just push the button on the battery again. You don't even have to look, you can just feel the rubber stop. Just push them in for about 2 seconds and it'll go off automatically. That switches off everything. If you want to take the battery off, if the battery needs to come off for any reason, what you do is just release your seat. What I normally do is just stick this right through here, so it's out of the way. And then if you take your keys, you've got the square key for the battery. Now on this side, if you want to look around at this side, there's a key position here for the battery. What you want to do is put the key in, turn them around and pull them out again. Make sure you pull them out, otherwise when you pull it up you'll snap the key here. And the battery, well that's all keyed in place now. Turn the key once and it just slides out. Now your battery can be charged on the bike or off the bike. If it's on the bike, there's a wee cover here that pulls off and your charger pushes straight in there. Once it's charged up, you'll be able to tell as you're checking them. You've got the 4 bars there, and again to switch them off, just push the button in and hold them and they'll go off. To put them back on, it's just the reverse. It just slides into 2 grooves on the back of the seat here, slides in and he locks into place, and then again turn your key half a turn and that's unlocked in. Now for the actual lock on the bike, there's a built-in lock on the bike here. I'll go on this side, you stand there and see it. The key goes into this side, right, and then if you see there's a lever here, you just push this lever down and that locks right the way through. So you can see here, there's a bar goes right across and through the wheel spokes, so you can't get them off. To open them, you put the key back in and they'll slip up. Now for your bikes you have an extra lock here, which, so if you want to lock your bike up, again just do the same thing, just turn your key, slip that in, and this can go through itself, so you have something to lock it onto here. This goes through here, and this pushes into this side of the lock, and then it's chained up properly. Again, to release the whole lock, the key will turn, it will release both the lock through the wheel and also release that at the same time. So one key does both parts. When you're parking the bike up, especially at the hospital, use the side stand, the prop stand here, which just flicks up or flicks down. Rather than setting it in one of the stalls and leaning it up against here, you can prop it with a prop stand and you can lock it and you can chain it with a big chain here. Again, putting the seat on, which is exactly the opposite, just slide them back in to whatever height. You want the saddle to be as high as possible, so when your foot is on the pedal at the bottom, your leg is almost straight and not quite. And then again, just lock that in place, and that's your lock done. So that's the 1, 2, 3 keys. Everything else is fairly expanded. The other thing I'm going to tell you about is that if you switch them on, if you want to use your lights, there's a light on the front here, halogen light on the front. There's also a tail light on the back here. To switch that on, you just push the plus button on the controller here and it'll actually show you a pretty light symbol coming on. Oh, I'll have to scan the computer key. To switch the light on, you just push this button in and you'll see there's a light symbol appears here. And your light is on in the front and the light is on the back. And the same way for switching it off, you just use the same button, just hide in the plus button and you'll see that the symbol disappears. If the bike needs servicing, there's a re-spinner comes up here, but that doesn't really affect you. I mean, there's connections onto the brakes, so if you're using the power and you brake, it'll cut the power. Your gears here are very simple gears. A click up, there's 2 levers, a click up and a click down. And there's a wee thing here that tells you which gear you're in. But it's fairly simple. If you go up, that makes it easier to pedal, and when you come down, that makes it harder to pedal, but that's more for higher speeds. So I think that covers everything. I don't think there's anything else. You can check your tyres. Normally the tyres, just give them a good press. If they feel flat, get them pumped up. But normally they'll be checked and they're okay. Everything else is self-explanatory. I reckon if you have this bag on the back, but if you have luggage to go on the back, this strap here can unhook and come off. That's just an elastic band that sort of goes over the top here. Everything else is fairly self-explanatory. As I say, just when you put the bikes back, don't lean it against things, it'll just damage the frame. Set it in the stand and padlock it up. And switch off, again switch this off. You can see the button there, that's the rubber button that I was speaking about. You can actually feel it. But you just push that in for 2 seconds and the lights goes off. That's everything switched off. And then again, as I say, you've got the 3 keys here. The swipe key, the lock and the battery key. The most important thing is that when you're doing the battery key, you see that one's got slightly bent. That's somebody left it in and tried to pull it out. What happens is the key comes up and hits against here and bends the key. So turn the key to take them completely clear. Everything else is, there's nothing else to really adjust. Adjust your saddle, adjust your handlebars to suit before you go. Switch your power setting on to the lowest setting. Once you're moving, you can go up and down through the power settings just by pushing this up and down. But I mean, you don't want to concentrate too much on this for safety. Best idea is just to leave it on the low setting. If you come to a hill, just use the trigger, and that gives you full throttle until you need it, and stop it halfway. Okay?